Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And as always, we're back with another massive show to bring you this morning. But before we jump into that, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get straight on into it. So on the show this morning, we have got some positivity surrounding the injury situation at Manchester United, which we will deep dive into. We're also going to be talking a little bit about a new contract for Hannibal Mejbri, which I think is, after seeing him play last night, I know it was only one game, but I think it's well deserved. I think he was one of our best players on that pitch last night. A couple of other stories that we're going to talk about as well. As always, do get involved in the live chat. Do let me know your thoughts on everything we discuss, as I always do like to see what you guys have to say. So get involved. Right, let's start off with the game of last night, and let's talk a little bit about what Erik ten Hag had to say after the match. So obviously, anybody who's been living under a rock, obviously we beat Burnley 1-0. Beautiful goal from Bruno Fernandes. Amazing assist from Johnny Evans. Right, let's go through some of the quotes that Ten Hag said after the game. So he was talking a little bit about injuries, and he said the following. He said, of course, it's a concern. You have so many injuries. You bring players in like Højlund, and you can't bring them in slowly. They're not used to playing together, like Hannibal, who did a perfect job. He then goes on to say that hopefully this gives us more confidence. It's only one win. Tuesday is the next game. I mean, that's so, it's so good that we got this result last night, and that we can now hopefully start picking up a bit of momentum, a bit of form going into the season. I know people will say the season's already over. We're not going to win the league. I know everyone's still feeling a bit negative, but 3 points last night was absolutely essential. We got the job done. We're now up to 8th. We're up to 8th in the Premier League. I mean, it's not terrible, is it, after 6 games to be 8th? Obviously, it's not where we want to be, but we went from being, I think, 14th at the start of yesterday's game up to now 8th. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. At this point in the season, all things considered, when you think that we've got around 12 players injured or missing at this moment in time. Now, as I just said, guys, we have another massive game on Tuesday against Crystal Palace at home in the League Cup, the Carabao Cup, whatever you want to call it. I think that we're going to win one of these trophies this year. I think either the League Cup or the FA Cup we're going to try and win, because we know that obviously Erik ten Hag really rates these trophies. He puts out a strong team. We can expect to see a strong team against Crystal Palace on Tuesday. Now, the question I have to ask you is, do we think that Harry Maguire will start that game? Or is there something going on with him that we don't know about? Because he hasn't been part of the matchday squad for, I think, 3 games now. He wasn't part of it for Bayern. He wasn't part of it, obviously, yesterday. And he wasn't part of it the game before that either. So it's been 3 games since we saw Harry Maguire. Obviously, Jadon Sancho, who knows what's going on with him? But it would be interesting to see what the starting 11 is for the game against Crystal Palace on Tuesday night it is. So that we'll be doing a watch along for that one as well, as always. So it's a League Cup, 8 o'clock kickoff this Tuesday. Now, I want to have a look at our next 4 results really quickly, right? Sorry, our next 5 results. Our next 5 results, I know I'm not taking anything for granted, but they should be winnable, okay? We've got Crystal Palace in the League Cup on Tuesday. And then we play Crystal Palace again in the Premier League on Saturday, right? Straight after that, we play Galatasaray at home in the Champions League. Then we play Brentford at home in the Premier League. So the next 4 games are all at home. I think we should be able to win all of them. I do. I'd be disappointed if we didn't win every single one of those games. After that, we've got Sheffield United away, which again, I think if we've just won 4 games in a row, I would expect us to go into that game with a win. So we could, in theory, go on a bit of a run here. After that, we play Copenhagen at home in the Champions League. Again, I think we should win that. And then it's the Manchester derby. So if all things go well, we could potentially be on a 6 or 7 game winning streak going into the Manchester derby, which I think makes everything a little bit more different. And then even if you look after that, right, it's then Fulham, Copenhagen, and then Luton. Like, we could literally win. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but if the players start to pick up form now, right, we could win the next 7 to 10 games, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do, because players are going to start coming back from injury, which we will be talking about in a minute. So I think we could be in a good position. Right, let's see what people are saying in the chat. Joshua says we were 11th. I think we were 13th yesterday. We were 13th before the game started. I had a look. Simon says, I think Reguilon was ill and played through it. Okay. Nathan says, nice win. Sad to see Reguilon come off. Guys, don't worry. We have so many games to play. Relax. We were finished 3rd or 2nd. We're building. I don't want to see Maguire. He's not a United player. What else have we got? Lumen says, Kieran, whatever is going on with Maguire should not be any of our concern as long as he is not in the squad. Yeah, I agree to some extent. But, I mean, to be honest with you, Johnny Evans has taken Harry Maguire's place for me now. Even if you've got a fully fit Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans starts for me. Him and Hannibal were the two man of the matches for me yesterday. They were unbelievable. MC says, morning everyone, not quite the 7-0 I was hoping for. Solid performances, quality from Evans and Hannibal. We can work our way into the top 5 in the next 3 games. Erik ten Hag now needs to put out a consistent team. That is something I definitely agree with. I think Hannibal needs to start every game now. I would have a midfield 3 going forward of Amrabat, Hannibal and Casemiro. I would do that. Get Scott McTominay out of the team. Get Sofyan Amrabat in the team. Although we will talk a little bit about Sofyan Amrabat in a minute, because I have a feeling that Amrabat will be played as a left back or a right back. He can play in that position. Obviously, Luke Shaw's injured. Malacia is injured. Reguilon did his hamstring yesterday. So all 3 of our left backs are now injured. Okay, obviously Wan-Bissaka's injured as well. Brandon Williams is on loan. Alvaro Fernandez is on loan. So the only actual right back we have, or left back in fact, is Diogo Dalot. That's it. We have 1 right back or left back. So, and obviously Martinez is injured as well now. So Martinez was supposedly going to be playing as a left back if the injury situation persisted, but we can't play him at a left back if he's injured. So we will talk about that in a minute though. Let's see what else people are saying. Simon says Maguire is the toxic leak. McTominay is an awful player. Yeah, okay, let's crack on with the rest of the show though. I want you guys to let me know how you're feeling this morning. I'll tell you what, right? I did definitely sleep a lot better knowing that Manchester United had won. I know that maybe sounds a bit sad, but it just destroys you, doesn't it? Spending like 3 hours of a day watching Manchester United plus all the rest of it and then just being embarrassed. I know people aren't happy with the performance still, but we still won. I think we got the job done. Let's see what else Ten Hag had to say then after the game. So Ten Hag said, Hannibal brought energy in the team, but the pressing from Rasmus Højlund was very good. We controlled the game in that spell. He says Hannibal did his job perfectly tonight. I'm so glad that he's come out and complimented Hannibal, because I saw exactly the same from where I was sat. I thought Hannibal was unbelievable. So big ups to Hannibal. Really, really happy that he started to get some game time. And I think that he should play in that game on Tuesday against Crystal Palace. I think he needs to cement that midfield now. I think that we need to see the same types of players playing every single game, because they deserve it, right? There's no point you bringing back in Eriksen, who's been pretty poor this season. I know you need to rotate players, but you see Man City, you see Arsenal, you see all of these teams, right? They have such good chemistry because they have the opportunity to play the same players. He then talks a little bit about Bruno Fernandes' goal. He says it was a brilliant goal, lovely play. In games like Munich and Arsenal, we played well in spells but gave easy goals away. We have seen so many things against us in the last couple of weeks. I assume he's probably pointing at the disallowed Johnny Evans goal, which I think that was pretty soft, because Man City scored a goal which was almost exactly the same a couple of weeks ago, right? And it was allowed. So why is it okay for Man City for that goal to be allowed for Man City but not for Manchester United? I mean, it's just frustrating, isn't it? Let's see what else Erik ten Hag had to say. He says, last year we had the most clean sheets in the Premier League. We were disciplined and followed the rules. When we do that, it's difficult to play against Manchester United. And I agree. And you know what? I'm so happy that we got the clean sheet last night. I think it's so important for Onana's confidence, and hopefully that's a building block now for both Onana and for the rest of the team to now go into the rest of the season, because he'd had a really, really poor run of form so far, hadn't he? I think he'd conceded 16 goals in 5 games since the Wolves game. At least he has got another clean sheet now. I know a clean sheet doesn't win you trophies. Well, I guess it does win you trophies, doesn't it? But what's I going to say? Yeah, I'm just happy for him. I really, really am. So he's got 2 clean sheets now. The most clean sheets in the Premier League is 3, I believe. Yeah, it's 3. So where are we? Yeah. So it's a good start. Obviously, he made some great saves last night, Onana. So really, really happy for him. I think he is kind of starting to find his form a little bit more. I'm still not seeing the distribution that I was hoping, that this like elite playing out from the back distribution. He seems to hit the ball long quite a lot. I assume he's been told to do that, but it does confuse me a little bit. Let me know what you think about that. Are you a little bit worried, or not worried isn't the right word. Are you a little bit, I'm not sure what the right word is, to be honest. I wouldn't say I'm worried. I'm more intrigued as to what they're doing. Let's see what else people are saying. Barman says, it looks like VAR agenda is against us in the last 4 games, disallowing our goals. Yes, it is mad, isn't it? We've had a goal disallowed, I think, every single game now. It's crazy. Evan says, about Garnacho not playing, his development won't progress. How much can we get for him? It's pointless to keep Garnacho and not play him. You know what? I do agree with you, to be honest, because he's not going to drop Rashford, and that's Garnacho's position. So I don't really see where Garnacho goes from here, because to my knowledge, he can't play on the right. Rashford prefers to be on the left. So the only way that this works is if Rashford moves over to the right and Garnacho's on the left. That could be an option. But I don't know. I'd be absolutely gutted if we sold Garnacho. But, I mean, what do we do? What would you guys do? Let me know. He's only 19 years of age, remember? So it's not like he's anywhere near his prime years. But these are the years where he needs to be playing football, and he's simply not playing, is he? He's not getting any game time. Rashford seems to be picked every single game ahead of him, which is maybe deserved. Maybe not deserved. That's up for you to decide. But yeah, it is a massive, massive concern. So you guys let me know in the comments section what you would do with Garnacho. Lumen says, Kieran, should the same lineup play against Crystal Palace? I would have exactly the same lineup, but I would not play Scott McTominay. If Kobe Mainoo's fit again, put him in there. If Mason Mount's fit again, put him in for Scott McTominay. That's what I would probably do. Obviously, we are going to have to talk about the right back and left back situation. So Reguilon's done his hamstring. So I think that we would expect to see Amrabat play at left back in the game against Crystal Palace on Tuesday. He can play at left back. He's done it before. Obviously, it's not ideal, but this is the situation we're in now. We don't have any other options in those positions. I had a look. I don't think we are able to recall Brandon Williams or Alvaro Fernandez. So we have to make do with what we've got. Obviously, Martinez is injured as well. So it looks like the centre-back partnership would probably be Lindelof. I would probably do Varane and Johnny Evans as my centre-back partnership. Maybe you can play Lindelof at left-back. I'm not sure if he's done that before. We're literally just having to deal with what we've got at the moment. You know, the fact that we don't have a left back now, all of our left backs are injured. The fact that, you know, Wan-Bissaka's injured as well. We're just gonna have to get on with it. We're gonna have to make do with it. Let's see what people are saying. Killer Combo Clip says we won't sell Garnacho. He will play soon. He's a great impact sub for us. I agree. I really, really like Garnacho, but I'm just thinking for the player's development, is it good for him to just be sat on the bench, not getting any game time? Probably not. So Ten Hag then goes on to say that Reguilon was ill, but he wanted to play. It says something about his character and his spirit. He wanted to play and contribute. So not only was the player ill, but now he's come off with a hamstring injury. So hopefully he comes back fitter and better and stronger. We'll have to just, keep our fingers and toes crossed. Johnny Evans also spoke to the press after the game, which I think, fair play to him. He had an amazing game. Rightly so. Go and speak to the press. Johnny Evans says, the role that was made out to me was to come in as cover. I knew I had to be ready with the injuries to Rafa, Lisandro and Harry. He says, the club has quality defenders. I've just been observing and seeing how they play. It's a bit different to what I'm used to. I feel I slotted him well tonight. I think he slotted him very well. So big ups to Johnny Evans. He was getting so much criticism. There were so many people laughing at him in the fan base saying, we're an absolute disgrace. Why have we brought in Johnny Evans? Man City are signing Gvardiol for 100 million. I get it. It's completely different levels, but he played really well last night, so fair play to him. He then goes on to say that at this age, I thought I would be winding down. It couldn't have gone any better, even though I didn't get to finish the match. I guess that's the only thing I will say about Johnny Evans. Obviously, he is a temporary option. He's 35 years of age. He's on a short-term contract. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Everyone who's just joined the chat, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're on the road to 20k subscribers. We've set a goal of trying to achieve that by the end of September. So please, everybody in this community, we've got a week to do it. Let's see if we can achieve it together. Please do subscribe. Just dropped a link in the chat to do that. And I'll read out a couple more comments. Lumen says, Kieran, what's your take on Bruno giving his Man of the Match award to Evans? I didn't see that, but if he did, fair play. I think that's completely deserved. If Bruno's done that, that's what a captain should do. He should acknowledge that somebody was better than him. Somebody probably needs the boost more than him, and acknowledge that Manchester United as a team at this moment in time, they need people like Johnny Evans. He's essential. He is. You've got no Maguire, no Martinez. I know some people will say, oh, it's good we don't have Maguire, but he's still a player, isn't he, for Manchester United? Obviously, our only options now are Varane, Martinez, and Johnny Evans, and that's it. But on a positive note, the triple injury boost, Amrabat, Raphael Varane and Mason Mount will be available for the game against Crystal Palace on Tuesday to start from the beginning. So I think that should give us a massive, massive boost going into that match. I expect us to beat Crystal Palace, especially at home in the League Cup. I think we'll beat them. I think we'll then beat them in the Premier League as well. And then the tides can turn quite quickly. It can go from being miserable, doom and gloom, to 3 wins in a row, climbing up the Premier League table. We could quite quickly be in that 5th place position. How many points off the 5th are we now? Let's have a look. So at the moment we are obviously some of the teams above us haven't played yet today, but they play today. Sorry, so we're 3 points off 5th place. Brighton are on 12 points, West Ham are on 10, and Aston Villa are on 9. I don't think any team can go above us either at this point. No, they can't. Chelsea would go up to 8th if they, yeah. So yeah, we're on 8th place now, which you know what? All things considered, I don't have a massive issue with. Yes, some of the performances have been disappointing. We've had some really, really bad luck. We've had some terrible VAR decisions. We've had awful injuries. We've had all of this off the field situation. Somebody's asking when Kobbie Mainoo is back. Apparently, it will be 1 to 2 weeks from last week. So it'll either be this week or it will be next week. So very, very soon. But you know what? Who's Kobbie Mainoo going to come in for? I guess Scott McTominay. I mean, a midfield of Mainoo, Hannibal and Casemiro. I think that sounds really, really good. And obviously Amrabat at the moment is probably going to have to play at left back or right back because that's like where we're really, really low. And he can do, well, he has done that before for Fiorentina. Not a lot, but he can play in that position. He knows how to do that position. Remember, he's a defensive midfielder, so his job is to defend. I'm sure he won't be particularly quick. He won't be able to bomb it down and up and down the wing, but he'll be able to do the defensive job really, really good. Al says 5th place is not guaranteed Champions League. It depends on the coefficient. Yeah, so I think it depends on how many English teams qualify for the next rounds of the Champions League and all the rest of it. Nathan says, how on earth could Bruno get man of the match? Apart from that goal, he wasn't noticed. I mean, that goal was unbelievable though, wasn't it? And I think that was a match-winning goal as it was. We won the game 1-0. I think if it wasn't going to be Bruno, it should have been that number 30 for Burnley, the guy who came on. You know, he came on at about 10 minutes, didn't he? Because was it Goodmanson got an injury? That number 30 for Burnley, he looked unbelievable. I don't know what his name was, but he looked good. I would have given him the man of the match if it wasn't Johnny Evans or Hannibal. Let's see what else people are saying. Irvin says, why can't Rashford be dropped when he is not performing well? Our top goal scorer is Casemiro, our CDM. This is unacceptable and reflects badly on Rashford. I don't know, mate. I don't know how the dynamics work at Manchester United, to be honest. I don't really get it. It seems like Bruno and Rashford are undroppable. The thing I will say, though, right, is I think Erik ten Hag is a fair person. I think he's a very disciplinary type manager. And I think that all we can assume is that Rashford and Bruno Fernandes must work tirelessly on the pitch. They must never complain. They must never cause, controversy. And that's why he picks them. That's all I can assume. Like, we know that last season Garnacho supposedly had some issues, didn't he, at the beginning of the season where he was, not giving 100% in training and stuff. So I don't know. That's the only thing that I can give a reason for this, but that doesn't still mean that they can't be substituted. Like, I honestly don't know. It does baffle me. Hal says, how would you rate the Amrabat debut? I don't think we really had enough game time to really give Amrabat a rating, to be honest. Like, he didn't do anything wrong. He gave away that free kick, didn't he? Which gave me a little bit of anxiety and heartburn towards the last couple of minutes of the game. Over by the corner flag. I think there was about a minute left and he gave away a free kick. That's kind of all I remember from Amrabat's debut, to be honest. I'm looking forward to seeing him play a proper match. But as I said, we probably will see Amrabat playing at right back or left back to cover for the left back situation. Right, let's talk a little bit about Hannibal then quickly. Again, I want to say massive, massive shouts to Hannibal Mejbri. Unbelievable last night. And there is a story that came out last night saying that Manchester United are now in talks to give Hannibal a new contract at Manchester United. And I think that's the right decision, as long as we don't give him some stupid wage, which I doubt we will, because he is a youth player. He's only on £13,000 per week at the moment. When you compare that to Jadon Sancho's 350 grand a week, I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? How old is he? Is he 19 or 20? I know he's still very young. He was one of those players, though, for a long, long time that I thought could break through into the first team. Yeah, he's just turned 20, so 20 years of age. Got his first goal for Manchester United last week, didn't he, against Brighton. Another really, really good performance for him yesterday. Definitely deserves a new contract. 13 grand a week. Yes, that's a lot of money for me and you, but when you compare that to the other, the highest earners in that Manchester United squad, 13 grand a week is literally peanuts compared to, a Rashford, a Bruno, and all the rest of it. So I'm not by any means saying giving him 300 grand a week, but I think you could give him, 20, 30, give him a bit of a pay rise. tie him down to a longer contract if he is now going to become a first team player, which I think he should be. I think he's earned it. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think Hannibal deserves a new contract? How much do you think is a reasonable amount of money to give somebody like that? Remember, he has only played, I mean, that was his first start, I believe, or his first kind of whole match. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think about that one. I'm going to read out a couple more questions as well. Let's see what people are saying. Luma says, would Amrabat have come on if Reguilon had not been injured as he continued to play in the second half with sickness? I don't know, mate, to be honest. It doesn't look like Ten Hag was going to make any subs. It looked like he was happy with what he had out on the pitch, because I think Burnley had made 5 substitutions by the time we'd made 1. So Erik Ten Hag must have been happy with what we had. Irvin says, looking at the midfield yesterday, do you think Eriksen is finished at Manchester United? He coasted a few games for us this year and he cannot contribute to our game by the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, Eriksen is a worry for me, definitely. I said this in the game, I think it was last week. I think he looks like his legs have gone personally. And as Erik Ten Hag said after the game, he said that he needs pace in his midfield. He needs, youth in his midfield. And we don't have that at the moment. So for me, I think, I don't think we can say his career's over. I think he'll be a good bench option. But yeah, it is a bit of a concern for Christian Eriksen. I don't really see how he can go on in that midfield. I could understand if we were playing maybe like a Luton Town at home, or maybe like someone in the bottom half of maybe a Burnley at home, something like that. Maybe you could bring Christian Eriksen into that game. But yeah, I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Christian Eriksen has a future at Manchester United? Do you think he should probably go? I don't know. I think he's a good sub option. I think he's a good player to have around the team, but I don't think he's a starting player anymore. I don't think you can have Christian Eriksen and Casemiro in the same side, because they're both, I wouldn't say Eriksen is definitely slower now than Casemiro is, but I think both of them are too old to be like the midfielders for Manchester United. We definitely need some more youth in there, like Hannibal, Mainu, etc. Lumen says, Kieran, will you watch the North London derby and keep an eye on the Chelsea result? Let me have a look what time the North London derby is, because I am gonna... No, I don't think I'll be watching it. I'm going to go out for the day into the countryside, so I'm going to try and get away from the city. So I won't be able to watch the North London derby, which is a shame, but it is what it is. But right, I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back later this evening, all being well. Please do make sure to smash a like on the video before you go. Please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. As I said, we're on the road to 20k, so we've set a target to try and hit that by the end of the month. We've only got about a week to do it, so I don't know whether we'll do it, but yeah, let's see if we can do it. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined us this morning. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran, and I'll catch you all later.